Hey, how's everyone doing? Hope everyone's doing all right, hanging in there. I've just been working from home and hanging out, leaving to grocery shop and do some of the Sunday services, which are on Thursday. But hey,
So, this week's devotional is going to be from Matthew 11:28 through 30. Robert's gonna read it for us.
all right. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
So, this passage is one that is specific to the book of Matthew. And it's a fairly common, well-known verse. In fact, it is one of my favorite songs.
Okay, Jen.
One of my favorites. But the part about this that stuck out to me this week was the emphasis on gentleness and letting go of your burdens. That gentleness that Jesus references, he says, "For I am gentle and humble in heart." It stands as a contrast to the Pharisees, who were clinging to their privilege and elitist titles. And I think it still remains relevant today, not particularly with regards to our church leadership, but with other leadership. Humility and gentleness aren't necessarily the primary characteristics. That's not something you see in a lot of leaders, to be gentle. It's typically more valued to be assertive and direct and maybe a little bit more hard-hitting than that. So Jesus stands as that contrast to others who are maybe more critical about how we do things. He talks about taking his yoke and learning from him and finding rest, but it's clear that while we are finding rest, we are not released from all of our burdens, but we are finding relief from those burdens. So following Jesus doesn't mean that we're not going to have problems, that we're not going to ever have to deal with hard things, but it gives us a resource for dealing with those. And that is because Jesus shares that burden with us, particularly with the imagery of a yoke. That's oftentimes seen in reference to oxen being yoked together, and so there's two. And typically that is a way that younger oxen were trained by older oxen to kind of learn the way they were supposed to do things, as they would be yoked together. So similarly, that imagery comes together with us and Jesus. And so we are yoked together with Jesus, but rather than it being a burden and a hardship, it is actually a relief. And that spoke to me this week, because I think that there's a lot of people who are looking for different kinds of relief right now, and maybe aren't getting it in the best ways. And so I wanted to use this passage as a way to kind of examine yourself and your life and ask yourself the questions about, where do I need rest? What do I need to learn from Jesus? And is there a way that I need to realign my life with Jesus? Am I putting myself under his yoke? Am I following him? Or am I dealing with hardships that I'm not really able to handle because I am relying on others? So that's kind of my introspective aspect of this devotional. And last time I had kind of closed us out with a benediction. So this time I am going to close us with a poem. It's not very long, don't worry. But this is by John Blaze, and it's called The Bravest Thing. Maybe the bravest thing is opening your eyes in the morning and placing your 2 feet on the cold floor and rising up against the gravity of the night. Maybe that's the brave thing from which all other bravery flows, the brave to seek ye first. Maybe that's the single thing God requires of you, the spiritual discipline that takes all your will to muster. Swallow down the fear, my child, and face the dawning day, for what the surface of the world needs most of all, is bravery skipping, and you, yes you, are the stone.
Nice. Well, we don't have any bread stories, so we won't ask for recipes this time.
No, we made taquitos though.
Nice. They were good. But anyways, take care and we'll see y'all soon. Bye.